Watch this mechanical button. When an operator presses it, a digital signal travels through a controller, instantly triggering a heavy gear to slam into motion. Today, we are going to build the system that makes that physical reaction happen. You will learn how to wire the hardware, program the software logic, and execute a foundational motor start-stop circuit from scratch. Step 1 is gathering the hardware. We need a Programmable Logic Controller, or PLC, a power supply, a pair of start and stop push buttons, a motor contactor, and a communication cable to link the hardware to our computer. A PLC is a dedicated industrial computer. It reads the physical state of your buttons, processes that data through the logic you write, and outputs a physical voltage to drive the motor contactor. It acts as the bridge, translating digital software instructions into physical mechanical power. Let's start with the physical connections. We need to wire our field devices directly to the input and output terminals on the PLC. These devices fall into two categories. Discrete inputs, like our push buttons, send simple on or off voltage data into the controller. Discrete outputs, like our motor contactor, receive an on or off voltage from the controller to execute an action. This animated electrical schematic compares the two main ways to wire these devices, sourcing and sinking. In a sourcing circuit, the PLC provides the positive voltage out to the device. In a sinking circuit, the PLC provides the 0-volt ground reference to complete the loop. For our project, we are wiring the start and stop inputs in a sinking configuration. We will route the 24-volt supplies through the external buttons and into the PLC's input terminals. This means the PLC syncs the current when a button is pressed. Securing these physical electrical paths is a strict requirement before opening the software. Proper wiring ensures the PLC can read the signals accurately and prevents short circuits that could destroy the hardware. With the physical wiring complete, we plug our communication cable into the PLC and connect it to the PC to establish a data link. Before writing any code, the programming software needs to know exactly what hardware it is talking to. We must build a digital replica of our physical setup. Looking at this modular PLC rack, you can see the distinct separated slots for each component. The standard rule is to place the power supply in slot 1 and the main CPU in slot 2, so we assign them to those exact positions in the software configuration. Many modern programming environments offer an auto-discovery feature. Clicking this allows the software to ping the physical rack and automatically populate the digital slots with the correct module serial numbers. A one-to-one match between your physical rack and the software configuration is mandatory. If the digital layout expects a different input module than what is actually plugged in, the PLC will fault and refuse to accept your logic. Now we write the code. We will use ladder logic, a visual programming language based on traditional electrical relay schematics, to build our start-stop sequence. Here in this clean programming environment, we start with a blank digital rung. At the top, we have our basic instruction icons, the normally open contact, the normally closed contact, and the output coil. We place a normally open contact for the start button and tie an output coil to the end for the motor. Beneath the start contact, we add a parallel instruction. This acts as a latch, reading the motor's running state to keep the circuit active even after you take your finger off the physical start button. This diagram illustrates a safety requirement. Real-world stop buttons are hardwired as normally closed, continuously sending current into the PLC. This forces the digital instruction to stay true. We use a normally open instruction for stop. The physical signal holds it closed until pressed, dropping the logic to false. Aligning the digital instructions with the real-world electrical states ensures that if a wire breaks, the machine automatically stops. This fail-safe approach protects both the operator and the equipment. Next is I/O mapping. This process links the abstract contacts in our ladder logic to the exact physical wiring terminals we screwed our wires into earlier. We assign the digital start contact to input address I0.0. The stop contact gets I0.1. Finally, we assign the output coil and our latch contact to Q0.0, representing the specific physical terminal wired to the motor contactor. We compile the program to check for syntax errors. Once it clears, we hit the download button to flash the code over the communication cable and into the PLC's active memory. Finally, we switch the physical toggle on the front of the CPU or use the software command to put the PLC into run mode. The controller is now actively scanning the input terminals, evaluating our ladder logic, and updating the outputs hundreds of times per second. It is ready to make decisions based on our code. To verify our work, we activate the online monitoring mode in the software. This diagnostic tool gives us a live view of the data flowing through our code in real time. When we press the physical start button, the software highlights the input contact in green. The logic flows across the rung, energizes the output coil, and the physical motor contactor snaps shut. Pressing the physical stop button breaks the incoming electrical circuit. The green highlight instantly vanishes in the software. The output coil de-energizes, and the motor contactor safely releases. With this working base, you can experiment by adding new instructions to the rung, such as a timer delay before the motor starts, or a digital counter to track how many times the sequence runs. You have successfully bridged physical wiring and digital logic. Mastering this simple start-stop loop provides the specific foundation required to scale up and automate highly complex industrial systems.